children, Aku is always watching. He's always watching. He sees what you do. If he sees you, he'll kill you. And Aku is like, the elderly still respect me. I appreciate that, old man. You get to live another year in the mining pits of hell. All right? Hello, I just wanted to thank you for clicking on my video, and I wanted to let you know not only do I create content in my YouTube channel here, Class in a Glass, but I'm also on Twitch where I play single-player games, multiplayer games, I do movie reviews, cartoon reviews, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Also, it would be a big help if you can check out my Patreon, where you can gain access to audio commentaries, reactions, and the ability to submit questions for my podcasts and videocasts. And all that content can be found in the links below. In the meantime, enjoy the video. Before we get all that good stuff, we gotta do this review, chap. Samurai Jack episode 13, Aku's Fairy Tales. We're at the finale of season 1, chat. There's been a lot of great episodes, chat. Even the last one was like super fun, but this one, I love how it's mostly just focused on Aku. Like, Jack plays a role in it, but he's the secondary character. Because Aku, he's getting fucking pissed off. He doesn't like that Jack, he is winning the praise and the love of the people, and he's like, fuck it. All right? I gotta appeal to the youth. I gotta appeal to the kids. And in his fucking warped mind, Chet, he believes, I just gotta tell them stories about how great I am and what a big piece of shit he is. Makes sense. Will it work out, Chet? We shall see. But we open up, chat, in Aku City. Aptly named, I suppose. I mean, you think he'd be a little more fucking creative, but he's like, no, name all my fucking cities after me. Aku City 1, Aku City 2, Aku City 3. Boring. Okay? You need a little more pizzazz if you're gonna be a shadow wizard dictator entity thing, okay? A little more variety is all I'm saying. But chat, we cut and we follow this little white blonde-haired girl, chat, and she's running through this back alley. Oh, but she is being pursued, chat, by Aku! And she's like, no, Aku, please don't eat my soul. But before Aku can start gnawing on that little girl's soul, chat, Jack, Samurai Jack, we see them in shadow. We see Aku in shadow, but we see Jack shadow. And he's like, Aku, you will not harm that small child. And he fucking goes right at Aku. And this little girl watches as these two figures battle, chat. But we pan out, and realize, like, wait a minute. This isn't actually Aku and Samurai Jack, chat. It's just a whole bunch of kids pretending. Witness! Witness me! Connor, thank you so much for the raid. Everybody on the dance floor. Raid. How you doing, Connor? Thank you so much. It's been a hot minute. I hope you're doing very well. Currently in the middle of my review for Samurai Jack episode 13, Aku's Fairy Tales, which is the finale of season 1. Absolute pleasure to have you. It's not sadly welcome to stream. I hope you're doing well, Connor. What were you doing today, my friend? What were you playing or doing in particular? Talking about something? Oh, we gotta do that trailer reaction too. We'll do the trailer reaction after my review. That's what we'll do. I know, Gunnar, it's an absolute pleasure. Gunnar, hey, buds, how's it going? Was just playing some Legendary Edition. Nice, man. Been playing through that, too. So far, I've done Mass Effect 1 Legendary Edition, or the remaster, Mass Effect 2 remaster. Love them both. I'll be doing Mass Effect 3 after I complete Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, which I've also been loving. This is such a fantastic game. But now, my friends, let's get back to the review. So Aku and Jack, it's not Aku and Jack, it's just fucking kids pretending to be. And this little fucking kid who has like Aku-shaped hair, it's very weird hairstyle. He's like, I can't help it. He's getting hit by like a plastic sword and shit. And he's like, guys, that hurts, stop it. And they're like, come on, man, you know, we're playing Samurai Jack. He's like, well, maybe I don't want to play Aku anymore. But you always used to love playing Aku. Well, now I don't, okay? Now that, you know, Jack came along, you guys will fucking bully me because the way I look is kind of shitty. And he's like, oh, come on, we all love playing Jack versus Aku because Jack, as we all know, he's such a fantastic hero. He's so brave, and Aku is so evil, and he's smelly, and he's mean, and we just like hitting you. He's like, stop hitting me! And they just fucking chase this kid. This poor fucking kid. Down the alleyway, but someone is watching, chat. And who's watching? Aku! And he sees these little brats playing this game, chat, and he's fucking pissed off. He's like, God damn it. All right, I have ruled, is in his words, for eons. All right? My rule is fucking law across this world. All that have opposed me have died. You know, with the exception of that fucking foolish samurai. They've either died or they've been subjugated, with the exception of Samurai Jack. And he's so pissed off because Jack's, you know, his legend is just growing in this world, chat, for the months that he's been there. At this point, I would say like a month, maybe a year. And he's like, how the fuck am I going to be able to, you know, have people adhere to my rule of law if they're praising this hero who's always opposing me? And he says, I've lost the youth. I've lost the youth. This generation, these goddamn Gen Z millennial sons of bitches. I guess they're millennials, chat, because they're kids, you know, it was the 90s and everything. They're fucking loving him and not loving me. And he's like, how the hell? I mean, what do? I kill him? I'm gonna have to kill some kids. So Ku's like, I'm gonna have to kill these fucking kids. That's what I'm going to have to do. But then Shetty notices this elderly man walks by as the kids are playing Samurai Jack versus Aku, and he warns them, children, Aku is always watching. He's always watching. He sees what you do. If he sees you, he'll kill you. And Aku is like, the elderly still respect me. I appreciate that, old man. You get to live another year in the mining pits of hell. All right? But these kids, is like, how do I kill them? He's like, you know what? I'm not going to kill them. I'm not going to slaughter them or subjugate them. I'm going to win them over. I'm going to win them over. It's like, they like games. They like stories. Well, I'm going to tell them the best fucking stories imaginable, chat. And so then he, like, wrangles up all these kids. All the kids are ordered in Aku City to go to the battle arena. They're going to fight to the death. Just be like Lord of the Flies. It's going to be like Battle Royale. No more activities. These damn kids don't have respect for their evil wizard god Aku. All right? I don't like it. Herman does a great scary witch voice, thank you. But they all gather inside this giant fucking arena, chat. They all sit down, cross-legged. They're like, I don't know why we're here. And I love on the TV screens, there's all these like happy kitties and puppies, and they're like, yeah, la, la, la. La, 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 but it's like ominous and shit because like, I don't like this. And then right before them, chat, we see this massive throne. And then suddenly, chat, Aku forms in front of them and he sits upon his throne. He's like, children! They're like, oh, I am here to teach you. Like, Mr. Aku, yes, small child. What are you here to teach us? He's like, I shall teach you the legends of the heroes from the past. Those who you should respect and love and worship. Okay, so you're going to tell us a story? Yes! A story. Many eons ago, there was a great space beast who consumed whole planets, and he set his eyes upon our own world. And right before he was about to vor it, in a sexual, erotic manner, a great champion rode forth in a golden chariot, completely encased in golden armor, and he had 8 tiny reindeer guiding his chariot into space. The beast presented itself in front of the champion, but the champion raised his mighty arm where he was grasping a giant spear, and he thrusted it into the stomach of the foul cosmic beast, turning it into beef jerky. And this beef jerky was consumed by the people of our world, by Earth. And these people, after they were fed and fattened, they asked, who was this mysterious champion? And they asked him to remove his golden helm. And the champion stood in front of them, and he removed his large helm. And it was I, Aku, your savior. And they bowed in front of me, worshipped me, built cities in my name, like Aku City 1, Aku City 2, and so on, etc., and so on, children. And that is why I am loved to this day. And all the kids are like, the fuck are you talking about, dude? We live in our own shit. We don't have fucking running water. The streets are filled with human feces and urine. We don't have electricity. And they're like, huh? Divine Miss Klein, thank you so much for resubscribing. Hey, Chris. Hey, everyone. Hey, Divine Miss Klein. I hope you're doing very well today. Welcome back again. It was good seeing you earlier. Also, Santa Claus. Santa Claus is also a coup. A coup gets a little confused reading, telling these stories because he starts to misremember fairy tales he's heard over the eons, and he's like, huh? So he's combining stories together, which is very funny. But all the kids are they're sitting there what the fuck is this? And he goes, this story is far too mature and complicated for their small, feeble minds. I shall tell them simple tales as to why they should respect and adhere to coup. And he presents he basically conjures a fairy tale book, chat. He fucking just grabs it out of the fucking ether and he sets it on his lap and he starts reading. Children, I shall tell you the story of Little Red Riding Hood. Little Red Riding Hood. She was a nice girl, loved by all. Ooh, I don't like this. And they're like, huh? And he's like, no, I am misremembering the story. No, this story is about a Little Red Hood. And Little Red Hood, she was loved. And her rule was law. And she had a red cloak. And we see in the cartoon, and she had great flaming orange eyebrows. And we see this little miniaturized Aku in a Little Red Riding outfit. And she had gifted a basket filled with confectionery treats for her grandmother. And she went to her house hoping to fill her grandmother's gullet with the confectionery sugary treats. And they're like, oh, okay. But little did they know that there was the big bad wolf who has a transatlantic accent. He talks like this. He's like, hey, Little Red, I'm going to go see your grandma. I'm going to vore her real good now. And it's very weird. And so the wolf went to, I love I'm just speaking as a coup for most of this review. The wolf presented itself in front of the grandmother and asked if he could vore her. But of course, no matter what her response was, it was inevitable that he must consume her very essence. And the grandma is vored by the wolf, and and the wolf, typical Red Riding Hood, is in the bed waiting for Little Red Riding Hood. The wolf was still hungry for flesh and confectionery treats, and it waited for the appearance of Little Red Aku. And the Little Red Aku came to the house and saw his grandmother look different. Grandma, what big eyes you have. Oh, the better to see. Oh, the better to see, my dear. Yeah, you see? Yeah. Grandma, what big teeth you have. Oh, the better to eat ya. But as the wolf jumped forth, ready to eat Little Red Hood, he forgot that Little Red Hood had the power of flames and fire and death, and shot forth lightning beams from his eyes, destroying him for all eternity. And that is the story of Little Red Hood. And the kids are like, excuse me. And they're like, what? And they're like, sir, thank you for all these stories you're telling us, but we were just wondering if it's okay. He's like, what do you want, boy? It's like, could you actually tell us a story about Samurai Jack? He's like, ooh, fine. I'll tell you a story about Samurai Jack. There was once 3 bears. There was a little derpy bear, a medium bear, and a great obese bear. And these bears lived in harmony in their house, filling their stomachs with porridge. One day they left the porridge on the table because it was too hot, and they left their home to frolic and whatever bears do. I don't fucking know. But as they were gone, ooh, Jack appeared, the samurai. And we get this super over-exaggerated version of Samurai Jack, who is like, his face is all like deformed. And Phil Lamar's like, I will eat your porridge! Like, he's just screaming all of his dialogue. And he's like, Jack came upon the bear's abode and wreaked havoc upon it. He found the porridge sitting on the table and he consumed it all. It was so hot it melted the very roof of his mouth. And he's like, I love porridge! And he's just stuffing his face full of porridge. And after he consumed the porridge, children, he set upon the bears because he wanted to hurt them. But before he did that, he wished to destroy their home. And it just shows him just completely just demolishing the fucking home, chat, like knocking over the furniture, slicing dice and everything, throwing like, just fucking freaking out, throwing everything around. And Jack, even though he wanted to set out and find the bears, he needed to rest because he was filled to the brim with porridge and he was weak and he went to bed. Soon the little derpy bear and the mama bear and the obese bear returned. And what did they find? Destruction, children! Unlimited destruction. And in their bed, which they all shared, they saw the disgusting naked body of Samurai Jack. And all Jack could say was, get the fuck out of me. Like, Jack just like, I'll eat your porridge. It's like, Jesus Christ, Jack, take it easy. And the kid's like, Mr. Aku. He's like, yes, why do you interrupt me, small child? And it's like, so Samurai Jack wouldn't do something like that. You know little of Samurai Jack. Well, we've heard all the stories about him. He's like, and you think my story is false? Yeah? I shall tell you another story then. There were 3 little blue pigs, and they lived in a house made of straw. They were watching television, Aku television. Aku invented television. You're happy you like television, don't you, children? But little did they know the big bad Jack was outside their door. And then fucking Phil Lamar is like, little pigs, open up your door or I'll disembowel you. And they're like, no, Savage. I don't know why they have German accents. No, Jack, Herr Jack, don't come in and disembowel us. I'm coming in. And then the kids are like, Mr. Aku, what? Jack wouldn't disembowel kids. He like fight evil robots. And he's like, fine. And then he just goes through like a medley of different fairy tales. Is like, there was this person, Jack, Prince Jack. He was an evil prince, and he presented himself in front of a frog. But the frog, he didn't want to kiss Jack. The frog ate him instead. And they're like, what are you talking about? We didn't know if the frog ate Jack. How's that possible? He's like, you're quite right. He actually fell from the beanstalk, and he landed, and he died. He's like, beanstalk? What are you talking about? I thought he was kissing a frog. I thought, wait, Mr. Aku. And he just goes off. He's like, and then Jack found a lamp, and the genie came out of the lamp, but it wasn't really a genie, it was a monster, and it crushed Jack. And they're like, Mr. Aku, and he's like, and he just loses it. He's like, okay, story time's over, I need to go. He just fucking vanishes. Just boom. He just goes out of there. And the kids are like, what the fuck was that? What the hell's going on? And the kids are like, well, I mean, do you guys want to hear a story about Jack? And they go, yeah. And so this one kid says, well, what I think Jack would probably do, and we see this, well, Jack would obviously want to fight Aku. And so he traveled across the land, and he came upon Aku's evil castle, and he fought all sorts of monsters. And after he defeated the monsters, he climbed up this great tower which he knew Aku was at. But not only is he climbing, but he also has battle damage, and his top knot is askew, and his hair's blowing in the wind, and he's bleeding a little bit because that looks kind of cool. And he climbed all the way up there, and he has a samurai sword in his teeth because his sheath fell off during the battle with the monsters. When he eventually gets there, he sees Aku, and then they start fighting. They're like, wait, no, they don't start fighting automatically. Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay, well, Jack would obviously say, Aku. I love that we have the one kid who pretends to be Jack, like during the play session with the little Aku, and he sounds exactly like Jack, because it's Phil Lamar just voicing the kid, which I thought was very funny. He says, Aku, your evil will no longer harm this land. I shall destroy you for all time. And then they start fighting. He's like, no, then Aku would obviously start monologuing. Samurai Jack, you are feeble and weak, and it is I, Aku, who will destroy you. Do they start fighting now? Yeah! And then they start fighting, and then we cut to credits. Samurai Jack. That's how it ends, like a typical episode. And then he would win. And that, my friends, is Samurai Jack, episode 13, Aku's Fairy Tales. He's not a very good storyteller, Chess. Sounds like that last time I got hammered and tried recapping Once Upon a Time. So I'm like, no, man. That's how it is. Oh, Lord. Once upon a time, there was a samurai, and I smashed him. The end. Cool. Weird episode to end the season. It is odd. It was a much more comedic-based episode. But I dug the hell out of it. I thought it was really funny. And the weird kid tells the slash figure Jack and Aku. That's pretty much. That's what happens. Cool. Gotta get back to the past. Samurai Jack. Watcha. No one went to the Japanese. Clap, clap, clap. Brilliant. Mako was brilliant. He was. No, Mako. Great, brilliant actor, brilliant voice actor, chat. Obviously, I think for our generation, like, we knew him as Aku and Uncle Iroh from Avatar: Last Airbender, chat, which sadly, he was not able to complete his performance as Uncle Iroh, chat. He actually died. He recorded all of his lines for book 2, chat, but he died. There's actually in the Tales of Ba Sing Se, they have an in memoriam for Mako, chat, with Iroh, because it's like a collection of short stories for all the characters. And the last one is for Uncle Iroh, who's mourning his son. Leaves on the vine, blowing so slow, like that one. And then of course he wasn't able to come back to voice Aku for Samurai Jack season 5. They actually got Greg Baldwin, who also voiced Uncle Iroh in the 3rd and final season of Avatar: Last Airbender, and eventually ended later on Korra, who does like a Mako impression. He did a good job. He did a good job. But yeah, Mako was a great actor, Chad. Famously played. I'm a huge Conan the Barbarian fan, and he played the narrator of that movie along with the wizard that befriends Conan in the film. Here's the little soldier boy son starts crying. I know. Oh no, Mordecai thing with liabilities. Just watch Clifford. Why isn't he bigger? Isn't Clifford a kaiju? He's a puppy now. Well, you gotta remember, he's a puppy here. Eventually, he will grow to kaiju. I mean, technically, he's a kaiju right now. Like as Aku's voice actor, but it was obvious. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it didn't sound exactly like him. So it's like but he did a good enough job. I felt. Yeah. Slayer, good to see you. Welcome to stream. I hope you guys enjoyed the review for Samurai Jack episode 13. Can you imagine Chris being your brother reading one of your kids a goodnight story? Yes, children. I shall tell you the story of Little Red Riding Hood and her laser beam eyes, and when the wolf vored Grandma and he was going to vor her. It's wonderful. That would be amazing. Oh, Lord. But there you go, chap. Well, I am a famous rapper from the Black Eyed Peas, made the Samurai Jack thing. Oh, really? I didn't know that was him. Oh, wow. I remember the PBS series. Yeah, I used to watch it. Yep, also in the comic, Toph writes Letters Diary was so big. Oh, that's right. I think I have some of the comics. I wonder if I might have that one. Oh, Lord. But, chat, I hope you enjoyed the review. Nonetheless. But we're going to check out this trailer, chat. I forgot to do this because I just want to get into this review because I was so excited because I really like this episode. It's a fun episode. It's a weird one to end on for the first season. It's very comedic, like I said, But it was great. They just have a really Aku-focused episode, and Mako is just so funny doing those fairy tales. He's his abomination versions of them. They're like, I love the kids are like, Mr. Aku, what? I'm surprised he didn't kill any of the kids. It's like, okay, he's not going to do that. I love that. Very entertaining, Chris. Thank you. Thank you, Divine Miss Klein.